Hello and welcome to my tree practice series. Today I'm going to do a common yew tree. I'm using these cards as pictorial reference. I will at the end pop a link to the playlist for all of the trees. It's really useful for you to practice different types of trees, and I have got quite a few building up now. So I'm going to use a round number 6 and come on with some colours. This is just a little bit of Bockingford, it's 5 by 7 inches. Pretty much for this sort of practice, any watercolour paper you will manage with. So I have here a little bit of yellow ochre, and I always start the tree from where it grows from and bring it up. These are really great as a reference because it's giving you something to refer to, which with different types of trees, what happens in your mind's eye, you know what a tree looks like and you just do the same tree. So practicing different types of tree is really useful. It's great for your brush control, it's great for your colour mixing. So this is a little bit of yellow ochre. Raw sienna will do the job as well. It's just giving me a little bit on to dry to start with. And then I'm going to use a little bit of burnt umber within it. Now this trunk is quite dark, so I'm going to take most of that over. But it's always nice to leave a tiny bit of light if you can. If you don't have burnt umber, you could use sepia. If you don't have sepia, you could use a mixture of ultramarine and burnt sienna. So there's lots of combinations. It doesn't have to be exactly the same colour. So I'm going to get that nice and dark, and I'll probably come back into that in a little while. And then I can see within here that these just come up, these branches just all come up from that one trunk, which I wouldn't classically say in my head happens with any tree, but it clearly does because it's in the pictorial reference. So I've just brought up some little bits just there. I'm not going to go any further than that upwards. I'm just going to look at coming downwards for now. So I'm going to use a little bit of this green. So this green is Viridian. Any pre-mixed green will do. You can make your own green with a yellow and blue. I'm going to take some of that yellow ochre into it. So that yellow ochre or raw sienna's got a hint of brown in, and that will naturalise that green. What tends to happen is they're very bright and then you don't use them. So this is just showing you how you can use them. So I'm going to pop a little bit of that on there for the grass, and then I'm going to wet just underneath. Then take a little bit more of the brown and choose a direction of shadow. I tend to favour the left, so I'm going to pop a little bit into there, and that then grounds that base of the tree. I'm going to dry that one off. Okay, that's nicely dry. Now, technically you could have done this bit first before you came to do the trunk. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. The reason I've chosen to do it this way is because I want it to melt a little bit into the trunk. So if you can see where I'm touching in and it's lifting the paint a little bit, that's because I want that to happen. I don't want that definite line in between that and the foliage. It's very hard to do all of it wet in one go. So you've got to choose a way. You either do foliage first and then trunk, or trunk first and then foliage. So I'm going to take some of this Viridian, and I want this to be a lot bluer. It's a lot bluer and a lot darker. So I'm going to leave more Viridian in, and then I'm going to take some of the burnt umber into that mix. I'm going to get a really nice dark bluey green. Then I'm going to take a little bit of that ochre through because I don't want it to be too dark at this stage. So where it's flowed, I am not concerned about, because I want that blend to come over. So that's why I've done it this way. Now you've got to wait a little bit for the sheen to go off of the paper. So I've got a light that just points just up here. and it gives you a really good idea of the sheen. Now at a different angle, if you come down to eye level, you will see on your paper how wet it is. So I've got that sheen there. I'm actually trying to just lift a little bit of the water off. What you want, so if I say you don't want it to be glossy, you don't want it to look soaking wet, you want just a little hint. So I refer to it, it's not matte, it's not glossy, it's that in-between sort of satin stage that you're waiting for. Viridian is made with phthalo-pigment, and phthalo-pigment is very shooty. So when you come on, it tends to shoot outwards. So if you come on when it's too wet, it will go very, very far. So this is just about right now. I could wait a few more minutes. Depending on which country you were in, you might find you can't wait that long. So I'm doing little flicks, and I basically want to start to get a bit of a base in here that I can then stipple over. So in places it's very wet still because it's shooty and it's going far. If you're at all worried about doing this, then start in the middle of the tree because it's got plenty of room to shoot. Don't start on an edge. But it's that combination of hard and soft edges that works so well in watercolour. Remember, wherever you lift your brush will be the bit that flows the most, because it rushes out of the brush as you lift it up from the paper. So at the moment I'm just concentrating on getting a nice even shape. This tree is fairly even. It's still very wet. I've still got plenty of time. The drier that it becomes, the less that paint will move. So if you do the middle first and then work to do your edges, they won't flow as much. So that's got a really nice base in there. So I'll dry that one off. Okay, so that's nicely dry now. It's got a really nice softness about it, and we're not going to eliminate all of that. I'm going to bring in a little bit more of the burnt umber down this one side of the tree so that I've got a side of shadow and just a little bit of light showing. You can, with a damp brush, just very slightly soften that in. So that was just damp brush down that rest of the tree so that it's not too stark. What I've got here is an old hog hair brush. Basically, I've never used it for oil painting. I keep it in my box. It's fantastic for lifting things out with a damp brush, but it's also great for stippling. So what I'm going to show you now is stippling. You don't want it to be wet. If you need to soften it up a little bit, wet it, but then dab it off lots and lots on kitchen towel. You need this to be relatively dry to do stippling. So I've still got a little bit of this mix here. You'll find you use a lot of paint when you're doing stippling or sponging. So I'm going to take a little bit more. I'm going to basically mix up a little bit more of that green. I'm going to take a tiny bit of water into it, not a lot. You do not want this to be too thin, so it will just blob. Remember, use your kitchen towel to dab it off. And then I'm still following that same stroke. It's that sort of upwards and outward stroke. What I don't want to do now is come right the way to all of my edges and eliminate all of that softness. What you want is a combination of hard and soft. So focus on doing the middle section and working out in little bits. Less is more. So I want to see a good 20 to 30% of that softness underneath still. Otherwise it becomes very flat. I don't want it to be flat. So angle your brush so that you've got it coming upwards and outwards. Keep it at that angle and just very lightly stipple. If you come to an edge, leave a soft bit behind it. So you can have those little bits coming out, but you just don't want them everywhere. If I take a little bit more of the burnt umber into the mix just to make it darker, I can then just come in with a few dabs towards the centre. Now, so the things to watch out for, if it's too wet, it'll start to blob together and you won't get the definition. So if that happens, you get a hairdryer, you dry it off and then you carry on. That tends to be that if you come on and you can't see any definition, you're either not dark enough in the paint or you're too dry and it's too fine. So it really is practice to find a way of achieving this, but it is a really, really versatile technique, stippling. Okay, so there we are. We have a common yew tree there. If you've enjoyed this, please do like, subscribe, share, comment, tell me what tree you would like to do next. I'll pop the playlist here for the trees and a video here, and I shall see you next time.